honor to the King of Kings.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
What have you prepared for us tonight?
For tonight, I have prepared to play a lot of my older tracks, also a bunch of new tracks, so 50-50 old stuff and new stuff as well.
What's your opinion on Romania, on drum and bass Romanian public?
I think it's a very healthy scene here. People love to come out, party, and yeah, I never see any fighting. Yeah, it's a great scene.
You've been in this game for over 18 years. How did you start to make music?
I started making music when I got my Amiga 500 in 88 or something, 89, where I got this great program called Fast Tracker, and I started making first house music. I did that for a long time, and I also got into hip hop, and I produced some hip hop albums in Norway. And in the early 90s, I got these crazy CDs with Raga Jungle, and I just had to make that, basically. I just got the chance to do so because of the new software that came along, and I just loved the music, and I had to make some. I had so much tunes in my head, I needed to get out, and it's still like that today. I can wake up one morning, and there's some track in my head, and I have to get it out.
What did your parents have to say about your new hobby?
At first, I think they thought it was great because I didn't go out, cause trouble. But eventually, they saw that I didn't go out at all, so they thought that was unhealthy, so they told me to go out more.
What did your parents used to listen when you were a kid, and how did that influence your career?
Oh, my parents listened to disco and funk. A lot of people did that because I was raised in the late 70s, early 80s. So when I started making house, it was like disco house. It was very influenced by what I heard at home, what my parents. When I started making hip hop, it was very funk-based, funky hip hop. But when it came to jungle, it was based on my love for reggae music. So it was both. Of course, my parents played Bob Marley when I was young. So
how do you see the evolution of drum and bass music from the beginning till now?
It's changed a lot. When I started out, it was Raga Jungle was experimenting with breakbeats, putting vocals on it, but all the bass lines were taken from reggae tunes. It was more like reggae versions. So for me, it was reggae. Still, some of that is still just reggae versions. Eventually, it moved to different branches. It started to make stuff that was hip-hop based, more hip-hop based jungle, then reggae based jungle. But then two-step came along, the more drum and bass, standardized beats. Some people never liked that, but I thought it was just more music that had the same kind of vibes. There's lots of debate these days about if you should call stuff jungle or call stuff drum and bass, whatever you should call it. I don't like that discussion at all. I think it's unhealthy, divisive discussion. To me, everything is jungle because it's the same vibe. I know lots of people disagree, but it doesn't matter. And then you got the more techno-y branch of drum and bass, which now is so separate from what we are doing now that you have separate parties. So I think the biggest change in drum and bass was when you had to have separate parties with this kind of music. Now you can go to parties in Bucharest and you can have all sorts of styles, but in many countries you just don't mix the two. Strange.
When you began this career, what did you want to achieve as an artist in your earliest years?
In my earliest years, I just wanted to make music because I thought it was fun, and that's still why I do this. I didn't become a DJ because I wanted to DJ. I became a DJ because nobody wanted to play my tunes. And I thought if I'm gonna have my tunes played out, I have to do it myself. So I became a DJ just to play my own songs so I can see the reaction from other people. And if I got good feedback, it inspired me to make some more music. So still I DJ very much because I like to play my own stuff, and I guess that's why I get booked to shows also, to play some stuff I make. Because if I play only other people's stuff, then you can hire someone else, right?
How will you define your own music to someone who didn't hear it before?
I met someone on the plane on the way here, an Irish couple, really nice couple, and they asked me what kind of music I did. I said, I do raga jungle, raga drum and bass. And they said, what is that? And I said, well, it's like reggae, but with a fast beat on top. It's the easiest way to explain to people who have no idea. Most young people today would know. If you say it's drum and bass with vocals on it, then they will understand.
How will you define your live shows?
How do I define my live shows? I like to be a part of the crowd. I wanna dance. I wanna sing. So I always dance and sing. Nobody can hear me sing because the music is so loud. But I actually sing most of the tracks out loud, and I get my throat is sore after for days. If I could, the music would just be playing and I would be out in the crowd dancing. Sometimes I can't help myself and I run out in the crowd, but I'm not supposed to do that, so I try not to. Define my live shows, I don't know, I want to be a part of the crowd. I want to give my vibe and receive the vibe back and forth, so we're one party. That's what I want to do.
What are your goals now?
Just keep doing the same thing. Make new stuff, experiment with some new styles, keep making what I'm good at, and to work with some of the singers that I really look up to. Try to work more with other artists as well as the old ones that I've been working with all the time.
What's the hardest thing that you encounter in your career? On everyday basis, or?
Hardest thing will be, bad-minded people that have bad intentions. There's lots of those people as well, but luckily most people I meet are nice people and I can deal with those. But sometimes you meet bad people. Yeah.
What advice will you give to a kid who wants to do what you do?
Never give up. Because it's easy to give up early because you don't see progress, you don't get feedback from anyone. But they have to know that nobody gets feedback the first many years. You have to just improve. Play your tracks to people. Some people will be polite and say, that's great, and maybe it isn't. And some other people will say, I didn't like that tune, and maybe it's the best tune. One of my tunes that I made in '98, everybody hated that tune. They said it was bad, it sounded like crap, and they would not play it, they would not listen to it. After a few years, that track, Deliver Me, was my most popular tune, and it was just because those people who criticized that tune at the time, they just didn't want me to succeed. They wanted to succeed by pushing the people around them down and to elevate themselves up. So you cannot trust feedback early. You can probably never trust feedback. You have to trust in yourself and just keep working on it. And eventually, if you have the talent and if you practice, then you will get there. But you cannot give up because of other people. I've seen people come back and say, oh, that's a great tune. When did you make it? And I have to remind them that it's the track you hated when I made it.
I saw that last year you've worked with Tony from Future Prophecies. Do you have any project together coming soon or something like that?
My very close friend Tony Anthem was half of Future Prophecies at the time. They worked together. And he was the first person in the whole world that gave me good constructive feedback on my music, because he was making jungle at the time already, and I just said I made some jungle as well, and he said that part is good, this you should change, this is bad, this is good. So he came with constructive criticism, and I will always respect him for that. He doesn't even remember this, but I know. He doesn't even remember I gave him the name Tony Anthem, but that's another story. Yeah, so we decided after many years doing separate things that we should definitely work together and make music. So we founded Gunmen as a project for making tunes together. We made a bunch of tunes. Many of them I will play today. and we do shows basically, but it's sort of a bigger setup. So we get booked to shows, and we do a Gunman set, a Psychofreud set, and a Tony Anton set. So you get like 3 shows in one. And we don't do that too often. We do that when there's a special show, a special interest for that. And yeah, we are still making lots of tunes, and our new plan is to start releasing on vinyl, and we'll do that already this year. Lots of vinyl will come out, and also digital releases. Hi, this is Psychofreud, Viking Sound, and the Gunman Project, and you are watching I Think I Like It on UTV. Boom!